There's an unwritten rule in sports that you should never celebrate until the final whistle. Indeed, you shouldn't try to show up to your opponents in a disrespectful manner, because life has a way of making you eat your own words and even regret your actions. But some athletes didn't stick to this unwritten rule and ended up embarrassing themselves in front of live television. They boasted their victory before it was all over. We've compiled 10 of the most cringe-worthy moments when athletes celebrated too early and instantly regretted it. Number 10. Chris Williams. On the specialty of touchdown returns, nobody did it better than Chris Williams of the Hamilton Ti-Cats. In fact, in the 2012 season, Williams set a CFL record for having 6 touchdown returns during this game. The ridiculous thing about it all is that it should have been 7. In the July game against Montreal Alouettes, Williams managed to catch the football after a missed field goal and returned it the entire length of the field. He had covered 117 yards, and with only 20 yards to go, Williams couldn't help himself any longer. His confidence burst through the seams and he turned around and began celebrating before reaching the end zone. One resilient defender who was pursuing Williams managed to catch up with him and tackled him just before he fell into the end zone. Once the play was reviewed, it was ruled that Williams' knee was down at the 1-yard line, canceling the touchdown. Before moving to the next number, we just want small favor from you. Like and subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon to get 1 week good luck for you. Try this, it really worked. Number 9. Jeon Jun Woo. Is it not embarrassing to celebrate too early in front of thousands of fans? Indeed, this is exactly what happened in a 2013 Korean League game when the Lett Giants were trailing the NC Dinos 6-4. Outfielder Jeon Jun Woo came onto the plate confident that he would bring the Lett Giants back to the game by sealing the tying run. Jeon ripped the ball for what he thought was a surefire home run. He flipped the bat, pointed to the crowd, and strutted down the first baseline, only for him to see the ball easily caught at the warning track. The Dinos players burst into laughter as Jeon stood there confused, trying to make sense of what had just happened. Number 8. Cibona Zagreb. With the team trailing by only 1 point during the dying seconds of a 2010 EuroLeague game against KK Partizan, a Cibona player managed to hit a clutch 3 to take a 1-point lead with 0.6 seconds left. Seeing that the clock had all but run out, the whole team broke into celebration and began jumping up and down while hugging each other on the court. Unfortunately, with the game not done yet, KK Partizan players continued playing and immediately inbound the ball, with one of the players throwing up a 75-foot buzzer beater, which went in for the win. Cibona Zagreb couldn't help but look in shock as they soaked in what had just happened. They had lost. Number 7. Ricardo Russo. Here we have yet another athlete who let his ego get the better of him. But this time in the sport of motorcycling, and we bet you've seen this one before. During the 2012 Italian CIV Championship race, motorcycle rider Ricardo Russo had begun his final lap by slowing down and celebrating like he was playing the guitar before standing up and pumping his fists to the sky. That's when the gods of fate saw his conceited display and decided to punish him right there. And then little did he know that the other riders were giving it all they got and raced past Russo to cross the finish line while the announcers stood in shock trying to explain just what had happened. The rookie mistake cost Russo the victory, and he landed the 14th place. Number 6. Nick Young. When Nick Young burst under the sporting scene, he was considered one of the great young prospects in the NBA. Yes, there was a lot of hype around him, and he let all that hype get to his head. In a March 2014 game against the New York Knicks, the Los Angeles Lakers' Nick Young attempted a 3-point shot that was for sure going in. The small forward shooting guard was so confident in his shooting ability that he even turned his back to the basketball rim and signaled a 3-point shot with his hands in the air. Little did he know that this would be the birth of one of his most infamous memes. You can tell from the look on his face that he felt embarrassed as he ran back on defense. Fortunately for Nick, the Lakers did end up winning that game in a resounding 127-96 win, with Nick going 5-6 from behind the arc. Number 5. Adriana Purdy. The year is 2007 and one of the biggest athletics events, the Chicago Marathon, is taking place. One runner, Adriana Purdy, takes the lead at the 35-kilometer mark, overtaking another competitor for adhere. By the 40-kilometer mark, Adriana had extended the gap against her rival by an impressive 30 seconds. The victory was surely hers towards the end of the race. Purdy was so confident about the win she began waving at the crowd, slapping fans' hands and soaking in the thought that she was the 2007 champion. It never occurred to her to look behind and see whether her lead was secure with less than 50 meters to go. A sprinting Buran overtook Purdy, picking up the victory by a shocking 3 seconds. Had Purdy just maintained the same focus all the way to the end, she might have clinched the gold at the marathon. Too bad she lost her focus when it mattered the most. Number 4. Khalid Askri. Soccer is no doubt one of the most interesting games in the world. With the biggest sporting following on the entire planet, it's no surprise that mistakes and embarrassing moments are bound to happen on film. Take, for example, what happened to goalkeeper Khalid Askri of the Far Rabbi. The team was playing against the Maghreb when the Maghreb was awarded a penalty kick. The imposing goalkeeper stood hand-stretched as the opponent shot the ball. Khalid dived the right way, saving the penalty kick. He immediately stood up, turned to the crowd and pounded his chest in pride. Little did he know that the backspin that he had put on the ball from the opening save had caused it to creep menacingly past the goal line, into the net. Which goes to show that anything can happen in the game of football. Before we move on, I've got a little challenge for you that'll take 5 seconds to complete. So here's the deal, you just leave a like on this video, smash that subscribe button, and hit the notification bell, and you'll get 15 years of amazing luck. Try it, it really works. Number 3. Lett. Football is the game where celebrations are as epic as the touchdowns, but sometimes players celebrate too early before they've made that coveted field goal. This is exactly what happened to defensive tackle Lett. With the Dallas Ranchers demolishing the Buffalo Bills in the fourth quarter of Super Bowl 26, a Bills fumble was picked up by Lett as he took off towards the end zone. Lett ran down the field, and with only a few yards to go, his ego got the better of him. He began holding up the ball for the final few yards. Little did he know that Bills wide receiver, Don Beebe, had hustled back and suddenly swatted the ball out of his left hand, forcing a touchback instead of a touchdown, destroying what could have been an amazing Super Bowl moment. Talk about having your epic moments snatched away from you when it mattered the most. And now we've come to the best pick of the day, is that Usain Bolt at the front? If so, then we think he's the only player that's allowed to celebrate early. I mean, he still holds the world record for the 100-meter Olympic sprint, and it doesn't look like anyone will be breaking his record anytime soon. Number 2. Mark Martin. When will athletes ever learn? Because this behavior of celebrating before crossing the finish line has been there for quite a while. At the 1994 Goodies 250 Nationwide Series race, Martin had started the race in pole position and had led for most of the race. Unfortunately, the race was slowed down by a caution flag for the final 2 laps and finished under caution. Once Martin had passed the white flag, with 1 lap continuing, the other drivers approached him and proceeded to give him a congratulatory wave. The clearly amused Martin made the assumption that the race was over and opted to pull down the pit row with only 300 yards to the finish line. He regretted it entirely, as the silly error gave the victory to David Green. Number 1. DeSean Jackson. At number 1, we have yet another football player who let his ego get the better of him. When will these football players ever learn? Washington wide receiver DeSean Jackson clinches our first spot for making the same mistake of celebrating too early on 2 different occasions. The first time was during the 2005 Army Bowl, when Jackson had made a catch and ran towards the end zone, diving headfirst to score the touchdown. Unfortunately, while he was celebrating, it was ruled that Jackson had taken off too early and had landed on the 1-yard line. A few years later, in 2008, Jackson ended up making the same mistake as a member of the Philadelphia Eagles. Jackson had caught a long pass from Donovan McNabb and had run into the end zone for what was supposed to be a touchdown. Yet again, he threw the ball to the ground in celebration at the 1-yard line. Yeah, we can forgive him for not knowing where the end zone is once, but twice the man that must have felt like such a letdown. We've come to the end of our video. Which of these athletes do you think had the cringiest early celebration? Let us know in the comments section down below. You can watch some more amazing videos on our channel here.